Welcome to this relaxing sleep story. I'll be your guide to slowly, effortlessly drift into sleep. The day has already softened. You've arrived at the quiet part now, where time begins to loosen. Let the air around you feel gentle, not cold, not warm, just perfectly still. Your body knows how to rest. You don't have to ask it. It remembers. Notice the faint rhythm of breath, steady and kind. Each inhale, a small beginning. Each exhale, a letting go. You're in a space meant for comfort. Soft light, soft fabric, soft thoughts. Nothing to fix, nothing to finish. Just this hush. You can drift here between waking and rest until the edges of the day fade into calm. Imagine a gentle breeze of comfort starting above you and flowing downward in a slow, pleasant wave. Brow smooth, jaw slack, throat spacious, shoulders sliding away from the ears, arms heavy and calm, hands warm, palms open. Notice the quiet rise and fall in your chest, like water ripples widening and fading. Belly soft and peaceful, hips and legs sinking into the mattress, supported completely. Knees, shins, ankles, loose and cozy. Soles of the feet warm, as if near a small hearth. Let the breath lengthen on its own. You're safe to release the day. It can fade. You arrive as if on a hush of air into the back heart of a small English town, where the buildings lean kindly towards one another and make a sheltered square of stone and brick. The courtyard is not grand, only well kept, with a low wall of worn limestone, a few iron benches dark with cold, and a single bare tree whose branches hold the first thin lace of snow. Around the edges, cottage windows sit in uneven rows, some with curtains drawn, some with a warm amber glow that looks like lamplight poured into glass. Snow falls straight down at first, then tilts a little as it finds the slow drift that lives between chimneys, and each flake seems to settle without sound, as though the night is catching them gently. Cobblestones lie underfoot like rounded shoulders, their surfaces shining where earlier damp still clings, and the fresh white gathers in the seams, tracing every line the old town has made over time. A narrow passageway opens at one corner, the kind that leads to a lane and then to a high street, but from here it is only a darker gap between walls, softened now by the pale spill of snowlight. Near the centre, a small stone trough sits empty of flowers for the season, and the snow begins to fill it like folded linen, smoothing over yesterday's edges and leaving everything calm and newly simple. You can see the roof lines above, pitched and close together, with chimney pots standing like quiet sentries, their tops dusted white, as if someone has tapped them with a brush. Somewhere beyond the courtyard, a church bell tower is hidden from view, yet its presence is suggested by the way the air feels older in this pocket of town, as though the stones remember hymns and market days and winter evenings. A single lantern hangs on a bracket near a door, its light pooling on the wall in a soft oval, and the snow passes through it in slow streaks, turning each falling flake briefly into a spark before it disappears into shadow. The door beneath that lantern is painted a deep green, the paint slightly glossy, and the snow gathers along the threshold where a coir mat waits, bristled and patient, for boots that will not come out tonight. From one upstairs window, you notice a small plant on the sill, leaves pressed against the glass, and beside it a book left open, as if someone paused mid-page and trusted the night to hold their place. Even the drains and gutters seem quieter under snow, and the courtyard's usual small clinks and creaks are wrapped in something muffling and kind, like felt laid over the world. For now, there is only the steady, delicate fall, and a gentle geometry of walls and windows, and the sense that this enclosed space is a bowl cradling winter's calm for anyone who happens to look in. Snow keeps coming in a patient, unhurried way, as if the sky has all night to finish its soft work. The courtyard begins to change by degrees, not with any sudden shift, but with a gradual brightening of every surface that can hold a dusting of white. The iron bench slats collect a pale line along each edge, so the seat becomes a striped pattern of dark metal and clean snow, like a quiet sketch drawn in two simple tones. Along the low wall, the snow settles on the flat stones, rounding their corners and making the wall look older and gentler, as though it has been there forever and is content to be covered for a while. The bare tree in the center takes on a new delicacy, each twig now outlined, and the branches look like the fine veins of a leaf held up to lamplight. In the dim spaces between buildings, you see that the snow does not fall in straight lines at all, but drifts and swirls in tiny eddies where the air turns slowly, shaping itself to the angles of roofs and the tucked corners of doorways. A narrow drain channel between cobbles fills, so the dark line becomes a thin ribbon of white, and the courtyard floor looks like a map with faint borders drawn in chalk. When the lantern light touches the ground, the snow there takes on a warm tint, not quite gold, not quite cream, and it makes the cold night feel somehow more welcoming without changing its quietness. From a nearby window comes the faint suggestion of warmth, not as heat you can feel, but as the idea of it, the glow behind curtains that hang in soft folds and keep a household's evening to itself. A second lantern further along the wall is smaller and dimmer, as if it has been turned low, and the space between the two pools of light is a gentle stretch of shadow where snowflakes are only faintly visible, like slow-moving dust in a dark room. You notice small details that would be lost in daylight. The texture of brick laid in uneven courses, the mortar slightly recessed, and the way snow catches on every tiny ledge and rough patch, revealing the handmade quality of the town. Near one door, a pair of boots sits on a step, neatly placed, and the snow begins to gather on their toes, so they look as though they have already been waiting a long time. A little further away, a bicycle leans against a wall, its frame almost invisible in the dark, but the snow outlines the top tube and the curve of the handlebars, turning it into a simple white drawing against the brick. The courtyard has no voices, no footsteps, only the occasional distant murmur from beyond the walls, softened by the snowfall until it is more a vibration than a sound. In that softened distance, you can imagine a lane with closed shop fronts, a pub sign creaking gently on its bracket, and the dark river of the high street lying still under the same steady fall. Here in the courtyard, the air feels sheltered, as if the buildings are holding the night close, and the snow is content to settle into that held space, layer by layer, in its own slow rhythm. Even the smallest things begin to look ceremonial. A keyhole rimmed with white, a windowsill wearing a narrow cap, a drain pipe with a thin stripe running down its side where flakes have stuck and stayed. The world seems to be simplifying itself into a quieter version, with fewer sharp edges, fewer contrasts, and more gentle continuity from stone to snow to light to shadow. The night deepens without announcing itself, as if someone has turned the dial of the sky a fraction lower, and the courtyard responds by becoming even more still. Snow now lies in a thin, even layer across most of the cobbles, and only a few darker stones remain visible where the warmth of earlier dampness lingers beneath the surface. At the base of the tree, the snow gathers in a small drift, and you can see how it curves around the trunk like a white collar, rising slightly on the side where the wind nudges it most often. The lantern light feels softer too, not because it has changed, but because the snow in the air catches it and spreads it, so the glow seems to float rather than fall. In the nearest window, the curtains shift slightly, a tiny movement that suggests someone inside has moved past, and then the fabric settles again, returning the room to its private quiet. The open book you noticed earlier is no longer clearly visible, only the shape of it, the idea of pages resting in a warm place while the courtyard stays cool and clean outside. A faint scent reaches you, not strong, just a suggestion of wood smoke from a distant chimney, and it sits lightly in the cold air like a memory of firesides and mugs warming hands. Along the wall, the bicycle saddle has collected a small mound of snow, and the top of the bell is capped too, so the whole thing looks as if it has been gently wrapped for the night. The boots on the step have softened outlines now, their edges blurred by a dusting, and they seem less like objects waiting to be used and more like part of the scene's quiet arrangement. In one corner of the courtyard, a small shrub in a pot has been left out for winter, its leaves dark and glossy, and the snow rests on each leaf tip in separate little pearls. You notice how the snow chooses where to settle, clinging to rough brick, collecting on flat stone, slipping from smooth painted wood, and you can almost sense the slow, careful decisions of gravity and air. The passageway to the lane looks narrower now, not because it has changed, but because the pale courtyard has become brighter and the dark gap feels deeper by comparison. Yet even that darkness is gentle, filled with slow falling flakes that catch stray light and turn briefly silver before fading into the quiet again. Somewhere beyond the courtyard, there is the softest sound of water, perhaps a small stream or a drainage channel running under the town. And the sound is so muted, it feels like the town's own steady breathing rather than anything separate. If you listen for longer, you notice that the night is layered with tiny silences, pauses between any distant murmurs, spaces where only snow exists, drifting down in a calm, unbroken pattern. The tree's branches hold more now, and every so often a clump slides from a twig and falls silently, leaving the branch a little lighter, as if the courtyard is constantly adjusting itself towards balance. A faint outline of footprints appears near one doorway, older marks from earlier in the evening, and the snow is already softening them, filling them in until they become shallow impressions and then, slowly, nothing at all. The courtyard seems devoted to this gentle erasing, this smoothing of the day into a quieter shape, until what remains is only night, stone, light, and the slow white hush settling everywhere. The snowfall becomes almost uniform now, as if the air has found the one steady pace it wants to keep, and the courtyard receives it with a calm that feels endless. The cobblestones are nearly all the same pale shade, their individual shapes still there but softened, and the courtyard floor looks like a quilt laid carefully across old stone. Light from the lanterns no longer makes sharp pools, only gentle gradients, with warmth fading slowly into cool shadow, and the snow in the air turns that fading into something velvety. At the edges of the courtyard, where walls meet ground, thin drifts form like quiet shorelines, and you can see how the wind has brushed them into shallow curves. The bare tree stands more like a sculpture now, each branch outlined, each fork and twig carrying a fine white tracing, and it seems perfectly content to remain still and unadorned. In the nearest window, the amber glow dims slightly, perhaps a lamp turned lower, and the change is so subtle it feels like the house is settling deeper into its own night. A curtain edge catches the light and then goes soft again, and the whole building seems to breathe quietly behind brick and plaster and warm rooms you do not enter. The boots on the step are almost hidden, only their shapes suggesting themselves under a gentle layer, and the coir mat has a dusting too, its rough fibres holding snow like tiny grains of sugar. The bicycle's outlined frame becomes less distinct as the snowfall continues, and the white drawing it had become begins to blur at the edges, returning gradually to shadow and suggestion. Even the potted shrub seems quieter, its little pearls of snow now larger and fewer as flakes gather and merge, and the leaves carry the weight without complaint. The courtyard sounds thin further until the distant town becomes only a faint presence beyond the walls, and what remains is mostly the soft idea of silence itself. Now and then a flake lands on the lantern glass and melts at once, leaving a tiny clear path, and that small vanishing feels like the gentlest kind of motion, present and then gone. The passageway to the lane is still there, but it feels less like an exit and more like a shaded fold in the scene, a darker fabric set beside lighter fabric, both equally calm. Snow keeps falling into that fold, and into every corner, and onto every ledge, and the courtyard becomes more and more like a single, quiet surface, with only the faintest textures underneath. The low wall, the tree, the benches, the doors, the windows, all seem gathered into one slow composition, as if the town has arranged itself for the night to look at and then forget. In the softened light, the courtyard feels timeless, not waiting for morning, not counting hours, only holding this gentle winter moment as it deepens and deepens and deepens. And as the snow continues its patient descent, the scene grows simpler still, with edges dissolving, shadows smoothing, and the warm glow behind curtains becoming a distant, steady ember in a world of quiet white. If you find comfort here, you're welcome to subscribe, so these quiet stories are here for you whenever you need rest. The story has quieted now. Only the rhythm of breathing remains. Each exhale smooths the mind. Each inhale gathers calm. Imagine the night folding around you like a slow-moving tide, warm, even, endless. Thoughts drift like small boats away from shore. The water holds them, then carries them softly out of view. You don't need to follow. You don't need to guide. Just float. The current knows where to go. The body's weightless. The air's kind. Sleep is already here, waiting with open hands. Let it take you. Let it keep you. Let it rest you.